Hi everyone, my name's James and I'm recording this video because I've just finished a 7-month long course of Accutane, also known as Isotretinoin. A lot of people take this medication for acne. That's the same reason I started taking it really. I didn't have really bad acne. I'm 27 years old. I started taking it this January. It's now the start of August. It wasn't terrible, but it was pretty bad on my chest, back, and shoulders. I used to have acne really bad when I was 15. I was on lots of antibiotics, pretty much all the tetracyclines. It didn't do a great deal, but as I grew up, it kind of went away. I went abroad for a year, came back, and when I came back, I just got a really bad outbreak. My face was alright, it wasn't too bad, but again, the problem was my chest and my back. So my dermatologist, for about a year and a half, tried lots of different things, again, lots of antibiotics, antifungals, didn't really get anywhere at all, loads of different creams. So she decided to put me on Accutane. Now, Accutane is something that my GP, when I was 15, tried to put me on, but because I was doing my exams and we had concerns about its effect on your mental state, which I'll go through in a bit, we decided not to. And looking back, I wish I had taken it earlier because the effect it's had is huge. It's had a massive effect and it's made things a hell of a lot better. The flip side to that is that there are quite a lot of side effects with medication. It's really, really strong. You will get some significant side effects if you take it, irrespective of how long you take it for and what dose you have. Like I said, I started in January. I started on quite a high dose. I'm a pretty heavy guy. I weigh 90 kilograms, so my dermatologist put me on 80 milligrams a day, which is 4 tablets a day, which is quite a lot. Immediately, the first thing you're going to notice is your skin will get really, really dry and really fragile, particularly around the lips. My skin got really dry and really fragile. It would look like I'd had sort of dust covering my face, sort of white skin flakes. The only way to avoid that is to religiously use moisturizer, and your lips as well will get really, really dry. I found after lots of different trial and error, the best things for me that worked really well were a cheap Superdrug hydrating gel. No expensive moisturizers. Some of them contain vitamin E anyway, which is what Accutane contains, so you don't really want to be drying out even more. But a cheap hydrating gel really helped. That would last a day. That was hydrating for the whole day if I put it on in the morning. Under the lips, Carmex I found to be the best one just because it hydrates your lips for a longer period of time. I also tried Blistex and various other different brands. They'd all be alright, but I have to reapply them every sort of 15 minutes or so. Carmex I found would last about an hour or so before I had to reapply it, depending on what I was eating or drinking. So you're going to go through a lot of moisturizer and a lot of lip balm. It's worth stocking up when you start. It really is. Another thing that I found helped quite a lot with the dry skin was double base gel. Again, I get that got from the pharmacy. This one was really good at hydrating as well, but it made my skin really shiny. I found that the Superdrug one didn't do that. It was kind of matte, and the double base was really shiny. But they both keep the skin really hydrated, stop you getting those really hard dry flakes that you get. Now, the issue I had was that my chest and back were really painful. Big cystic acne. I've got a couple of pictures which I'll put up there. And there wasn't loads of them, but the ones that were, they were really sore. I sort of had trouble sitting down, sitting lying down. And those went pretty quickly. It got really bad for the first month, and then they got worse, noticeably worse for the first month of taking Accutane, but then it died right down, and they pretty much just went. And over the course of the 7 months I was on it, you get maybe one or two, but and the occasional outbreak, but they went very fast. But my dermatologist kept me on the medication until I went a month without a single outbreak. So it took 7 months for me to get nothing at all. Since I've finished, I've been taking differing cream, which is essentially Accutane, but in a cream. So it's less strong, you get less side effects. It's a topical medication. I've been using that since. That really helps. The other side effect I really had was for the first couple of months, I got pretty bad mood swings. I got quite anxious, which is unlike me. I didn't have any motivation to do anything. So if you're thinking about taking Accutane, you've got any exams or tests or job interviews or anything that's going to require a lot of practice and a lot of motivation, wait until afterwards before you start taking Accutane, because even at work, my motivation just dropped. I could barely bring myself to do anything. I'd wake up in the mornings and just not want to get out of bed. So my motivation to do anything at all just kind of went completely. That got better over time. I got used to it, so forcing myself to do things that got better as well. My girlfriend noticed I got pretty severe mood swings for the first couple of months. Like, I'd be perfectly fine, she would say something completely harmless, and I'd just snap, just go, just get really angry for no reason whatsoever. And that sort of that went on for about 8 weeks or so, and then that went as well. I mean, if you take, I sort of started taking active control of how I was behaving, started concentrating a little bit more on trying not to have these mood swings, and that helped. So that one again was not a problem for the last few months, but at the beginning it definitely was. Another major issue was I do quite a lot of exercise. I cycle 30 miles to work each day, and then I go to the gym afterwards. And my joints, particularly my hips, ankles, and knees, were really, really sore. I got really bad joint pain when I started taking Accutane, and that just got worse and worse and worse. That didn't really get any better until I stopped taking it. I've only been off it a week. Already I'm noticing my joints are feeling better. Yeah, I got really bad joint pain, and I get fatigued really easily. Not exercise-induced fatigue, but just general lethargy and no desire. And I guess that goes with motivation, no desire to really do much at all. Since I've finished, and I've only been off it a week, my skin's really, really dry still. I'm still having to go through loads of moisturising Carmex, but the aches have gone. I feel better. Now, another thing worth pointing out is your skin gets, well, mine certainly got super fragile, really, really fragile. It took next to nothing to break my skin. I mean, I've got these wounds from just lying down on the floor. And you can sort of see my nose as well. I've still got some cuts on there from just scratching it. I managed to take a big chunk of skin off my forehead once, just drying myself with a towel. So my skin got really fragile. You see, get more wounds as well. It just becomes like paper. It doesn't take much at all to cut it, and it takes forever to heal. So if you're having sort of surgery or anything like that, again, have a think about if you've got anything that's going to cause any skin breaks. Be aware that it will break really easily, and it takes a long time to heal as well. Again, this varies from person to person. Some people get minimal side effects, some people get loads. I seem to get all of them. My dermatologist also mentioned that something that's well known about Accutane, it was in the media quite a lot, that it can cause depression and anxiety. Some people who've been taking it have committed suicide. Again, I got some anxiety, I got some mood swings, but not to the point where it was sort of depressive episodes or anything like that. But be aware it can happen. It's not been studied to the point where they can say it's a definitive link, but there's certainly a trend in a higher risk of depression and suicidal thoughts of people who are taking Accutane and those who aren't. So if you are prone to sort of depression, anxiety as it is, just be aware that you need to make sure you are getting properly monitored, and just be aware that it can exacerbate those symptoms as well. In terms of managing it as a whole, you just kind of got to get through it. Just keep giving yourself, just keep moisturizing. Just try and motivate yourself. Try and keep yourself occupied. It will work. It works really, really well. It's a very effective medication. I'm really glad I did do it. I wish I'd done it earlier, because I'm 27 now. If I had done it when I was 18, it would have been fantastic, because I wouldn't have gone my whole 20s with acne problems. I wish I had done it when I was younger, but I'm glad I did do it. The side effects are intense, to say the least, but despite that, it's well worth trying. If you struggle with acne and you've tried lots of other different things, it's absolutely well worth trying. Give it a go. If you don't get on well with it, you can always come off it, but just need to make sure you are getting properly monitored by a dermatologist. If you've got any questions or anything you'd like to ask about my experience with Accutane in particular, just let me know. Send me a message or something. Try my best to answer them. So yeah, that was how I dealt with it. Thank you.